Welcome and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this international conference of the Consortium of Balsamic Vinegar of Modena. My name is Federico De Simone. I'm the director, and I would like to say hello to everyone coming from different parts of the world. We are connected with Italy, France, Germany, and the United States. This afternoon, we will be talking about the consortium trademarks, the community of producers, and especially of the news on the market, the news of the latest months and the coming months, and what is going to happen. So the news that will be involving our products in the coming months and years. Talking about the community of producers of balsamic vinegar of Modena, I will give the floor to our president, Mariangela Rosoli, for a brief word of introduction. Good afternoon and welcome to all of you. And thank you for inviting our invitation to take part in this meeting. Just a couple of words about the consortium. The product is known to you because you are familiar with our product, because you contribute to distributing it. Instead, the history of the consortium is probably less known. This consortium was set up in 1993 to obtain the recognition of the geographical indication by the European Union. Great achievements have been reached, and in 2014 we received the official recognition on the part of the Italian Ministry to protect and promote our product. From the very beginning, the consortium wanted to identify a symbol for all the members, and this symbol was the one that was present on the bottles of products from the very beginning, and with time this has become an identification mark of the product itself. Since 1993 we have gone very far. We have focused on protection and the promotion of the product. Therefore, today we will see the latest developments of our work, so that our product becomes more and more known, because our balsamic vinegar is not just one single product, but many products with different characteristics united by the same name. The consortium is also committed to promoting the knowledge of the product so that consumers can choose the product that is most suitable for their tastes and uses. So thank you very much and have a nice conference. Thank you, Mariangela. So, as I mentioned before, we will be talking about many things, and especially about new things. I would like to tell you something about our Q&A session. Since at the end of the presentation there will be indeed a Q&A session, questions should be written in the Q&A session that you find in the connection, so you can write these questions in your language, and these will be translated by the direction here. And so we will take a little bit of time to have all the questions translated, so everyone can actually follow the conference in their own languages, and you can ask your questions in your own language. So to favor everyone, whilst I'm speaking Italian, the presentation will be in English. So today we will be talking about the consortium, the product, the consortium marks, and the variations and the news regarding the labels. So let's then start step by step, and we wanted to start with a few words on the consortium itself. All over the world, we are going through a very complex time, a very challenging time when we feel lonely. And we believe we need to establish networks at an international level, and we need to cooperate much more than we have done so far. So I believe that the challenge for the future in a complex and globalized world invites us to take on collective responsibility. And this is the reason why we wanted to share with you our approach, our way of working, which is a collective way of working. Our consortium is a voluntary association that gathers all the players, the producers that are part of the supply chain of balsamic vinegar of Modena. So the consortium is a private entity, but it is at the same time, it is a public entity in terms of functions, because we were entrusted in 2014 by the Ministry of Agriculture to carry out public functions, which are the protection, the safeguard, and the promotion and communication about the product. So we, let's say, carry out these functions for all the producers. Our vision and our values are these. We like sharing them because based on these, we would like the cooperation also with players outside the consortium could improve more and more. We would like to work as a community. We want to defend what we were given by our predecessors in terms of tradition and culture, and of our land, what our land means. We want to defend the rights of consumers and thus improve the quality of our products, productions, and also the quality of life of the consumers, producers, and workers. One of our values is transparency on the market and in communication, and also fairness in business and in trade relationships. And our reference value is the culture of lawfulness, legality. Based on these values, our mission wants to ensure legal protection to the product, to the producers, and to consumers, and obviously also you, dealers and traders, and all the parties involved in communication. We work to increase awareness, especially amongst consumers, through communication and promotion campaigns. We work also to increase the value of our product, and for this we need the contribution of all, both in the world of communication and in the world of those who sell to end consumers. And we want to protect and develop the international reputation of our product. To do this, we develop educational and information campaigns. We constantly monitor the international market. We fight against all types of frauds. We carry out activities of supervision and control, especially with regards to unfair competition. And all this also, unfortunately, having to deal with a lot of legal actions and suits. So the members of the consortium are those companies that share our vision, our values, and the mission I shared with you, and who believe in the strength of being a domestic for the producer and international community for all the other players. And all the members believe in that collective actions. We believe that the community is the solution to our problems. We work as a consortium, as a group of companies, to promote a shared widespread leadership, because we are not only interested in leading, but being all the protagonists, so that each one with their own professionalism can be a protagonist. And so we should all be part of our work team. To become members of the consortium, well, as I mentioned, it is a voluntary membership, but we ask members to commit to complying with the rules and the ethic code that we formalized in our Articles of Association. All this to bring our product, balsamic vinegar of Modena, PGI, everywhere in the world. I think this product is well known to all of you, so I will just focus on a couple of aspects of the products. In particular, I would like to focus on its roots. So the product was born at the beginning of the second millennium in the areas of Modena and Reggio Emilia, and it has always been one of the main products in the Modena area, and it is the result of the wisdom and passion of our predecessors. And these people, already at the end of the 19th century, exported this product worldwide at international exhibitions, and they made a miracle possible, because this product has export levels of 92%, so 50% goes outside Europe, and last year it produced more than 100 million liters for a value in terms of sales turnover of more than €1 billion. So this slide shows you the key facts, and obviously the related activities have a meaning that goes beyond all this even. So of all this world that I tried to summarize in some keywords, is often represented by a symbol. So we have got this historical mark that bears the name of the product, balsamic vinegar of Modena, the name of our community, Consorzio di Tutela, the Protection Consortium, the initials of the product, ABM, and this cross that somehow, let's say, confirms the historical roots of our product. This is the mark of the consortium, and it is the symbol of our community. And indeed, it is a collective and shared trademark. That is, all the companies, members of the consortium can use this trademark. How? Until today, the consortium trademark has been used in a specific way. Then there has been an evolution, also a graphic evolution, but especially, and this is the second part of my presentation, well, there have been variations, that is, new applications, especially to renew the use of our brand on the label. Until today, the trademark was used in this form that you see on the slide for the standard and aged products on the bottles, with the only purpose of stating, I am a member of the consortium. So the use of this trademark on the label until today has had this meaning. I am proud of being part of the consortium. But there are some news, and this is something regarding the near future. Today, I only have this slide, but in 2023 there will be other presentations to clarify this, because we have developed a system that we call Digital Passport. That is a sort of security seal that will guarantee the authenticity, the certification system of every single bottle. It will provide a new idea of traceability that will go down to the consumers, and that will become transparency between production chain, supply chain, and consumers. And it will also become the symbol of the authentic product, because when this seal becomes mandatory to be applied on every single bottle, this will be a symbol of the sign of authenticity. So the bottles not bearing this seal will not be authentic balsamic vinegar of Modena bottles. So it is a powerful tool in terms of surveillance, control, fight against frauds, but it will be also equally important in terms of communication guarantees to consumers, and also in terms of further developments in terms of awareness amongst consumers. So it will provide security and information. So I'm not adding extra. This will be something that we will follow up next year. We will have dedicated moments to talk about this specific change. This will be applied on the bottles. You can see 3 different types of seals that can be placed on the bottles. Also, in this case, we have diversified the standard products, let's say the burgundy seal, from the aged product in gold color. Something that I would like to mention today, which is something that is happening now, is this new brand, which is the consortium profile. As you can see, so before the consortium trademark is the one that we saw before. Here we have a simplification. So we still have the heart of the brand, the cross and the initials, ABM, which are the initials of balsamic vinegar of Modena in Italian. And this becomes part of the mark to be placed on the labels of the products, to be placed on the shelves of the stores and supermarkets. But let's have a look at this. What is this consortium profile? Why have we identified this name? So it's a system. It is a sensory profile that is very straightforward, that is addressed to consumers. So it is designed for the labels, for any types of labels glued on the bottle or tags, as the one you are seeing. And certainly the purpose of the consortium profile is that of providing a message of helping consumers in choosing their product. So it is one way for accompanying consumers when they have doubts, they ask themselves questions, and very often there is nobody providing answers. This is the result of a market survey that stimulated us to take a step forward towards the consumers. And this is our response, our answer. As you can see, there are 7 levels, 5 that have got an addition. That is there are 5 levels, 5 different seals, but 4 and 5 also have the aged version. So on the labels of products, we can have 4 different seals for the standard products, and also 2 for the aged products. And these are subdivided based on analytical characteristics that are certified by our certification body and that are monitored by the consortium itself. These 5 categories refer to the thickness of the product, to the dry matter of the product, total and non, and also to the features that are certified during the process of certification of the PGI. Now I will enter details. As you can see, the purpose is that of helping consumers understand not all the organoleptic features of the products, because this is possible only during tastings, but the main ones, that is, the ones that were actually identified by the survey, that is, those characteristics the consumers are most interested in. In addition to this, the message we would like to give using this brand on the labels of the bottles is also a use. That is, we would like to help consumers understand that this is a faceted product. So the specifications enable every producer to create different products and recipes that have got different characteristics, and therefore they can feature different flavors, and they can have different uses in cooking. So every single category can have a specific use, and this is what we would like to convey to consumers. Just a couple of examples. You see the bottles. The bottle obviously is a bottle that only has the consortium profile on, because this is a neutral bottle. So obviously in supermarkets and stores you will find bottles that will not only have the consortium profile but also the labels of the producers. But this has been done just to help you understand what consumers will find. So in the first and second cases, you see one or two seals. These are products that still have tangy products, strong products, but with freshness. They still have the fruity note, the citrus note that are typical of young fresh products. They are perfect for fresh vegetables, salads, for vinaigrettes, for marinades. On the right-hand side, you see that there are three bullets. It's a product that still has a tangy note that prevails on the sweet one. It's still pungent, and the fruit notes give room to notes of fresh grape must. It can be used to produce sauces on boiled vegetables, to cook meat, white meat, or breaded white meat, and anything cooked in a frying pan. It's a product that is not super creamy, so it can be used also for cooking. Then we have the 4 bullet in the aged and non-aged versions. Also in this case, the product has got a balance that is almost ideal, because sweetness and tanginess are very balanced. The thickness is considerable. It has got a medium body, and it can also give a tactile feeling. Sweetness prevails, but it still remains fresh from an aromatic point of view. The grape must is cooked. You have scents of jams, berries. And if we move to the aged product, complexity grows, so there are more spicy notes, and we can use this one on risottos. So I imagine that through this profile, I can communicate to consumers a lot of information. So it adds characteristics and how I can use it. So the consumers can use me on risottos, on grilled meat, in order to counterbalance the bitterness of grilled meat. Or on the other side, you see vinegar paired with salmon, for example. Just a minute, I wanted to go back to the previous slide. Yes, here we are. So this can be paired with fresh cheese, ricotta cheese, buffalo mozzarella, and so on and so forth. So organoleptic features that are different and different uses in particular. Getting to the 5 bullet products, both standard and aged, well, this profile could tell consumers that we have got a product that is definitely sweet and creamy, smooth, round and velvety, silky, a product that can be used as a digestive, it can be drank. Must is cooked grape must. Plum jam is a prevailing note, together with spices. And the aged product has got notes, hints of white chocolate, coffee. And this drives us to different pairings. So, for example, chocolate, cream ice creams, and also matured cheese and blue cheese for the non-aged products. This can replace actually jams that are often proposed for main courses. We would like all this through communication to become a message for consumers. Consumers who, during our survey, stated to be confused because they find different types of products on the market with different price ranges, and therefore they don't know what happens. They don't know what this diversity means. This is the answer. The meaning is this. The product is varied. In PGI products, you can have a variety of features for different tastes and different uses. And this is the consortium profile. And now I would like to deep dive into the consortium profile even further. As you can see, our historical trademark with these additional elements as well. I know that on the label this is fairly small, so very often this would not be readable right away, but we would like these elements to become a sort of compass for consumers. So the first thing we would like to tell consumers is that the consortium profile is called this way and has got this round mark because it is a unified sensory profile for all the producers. It should replace the many proposals that every company made. And all the proposals made so far have been good, but they did not help consumers to understand because they were all different. So the first answer is this. This is a unified sensory profile for the entire production system. It's not managed by the company, but by a third body, which is the consortium, that together with the certification body guarantees that the characteristics identified on the label are reliable ones. And it is shared by all the members of the consortium. So the unification of the system. The second element are the information that this mark gives consumers. And I would like to stress this concept. Consumers remain in front of the bottle a couple of seconds and they can't read very much, and they don't like detailed explanations. And so we had to deal with the challenge of providing a few key messages to the consumers in just a few seconds. Obviously, we have to leverage also intuition. And therefore, we wanted to take these two characteristics, tangy and sweet, which are the two extremes of a chain of bullets that become colored gradually. Every product can have a different number of colored bullets. So what does this mean? It means that the colored bullet next to tangy means a tangy product, and the more bullets you have colored, the more the product will move towards sweetness. So the product with 5 colored bullets will be sweeter, rounder, smoother, and silkier. At the same time, with a growing degree of sweetness and setting aside, let's say, the tanginess, we know that balsamic vinegar of Modena is sweet and sour, so tangy and sweet. But sweet and sour can be not clear enough. So we wanted to split the concept. There are products that are more acidic, tangier, or they need those products because they want to use an acid product, whereas there are other products that are sweeter. So this combination, sweet and sour, we wanted to split, and we wanted to represent it on a scale, these bullets. At the same time, moving from tangy to sweet or vice versa, there is also the movement of the body of the product. We didn't want to use the word thickness because our product is not just thick. Actually, body means structure of the product. It means the tactile characteristic of the product, how we feel it in the mouth. So it means analytical elements as well. So it's not only an indication of thickness, it's also that, but it's not only that. And hence the words of sensory analysis can help us understand what body means. Those who are used to drinking wine know this. Full-bodied wine is a wine that doesn't run away, that fills your mouth, and that has got a dry matter that is more present. So we allow consumers this way to choose. Do you like a lighter, tangier product, or do you prefer something that fills your mouth with velvet and substances? It will be the consumer who will choose. It's not a ranking. It's just an explanation. Furthermore, there is this tag with the word aged to underline that the last two, let's say, categories, 4 and 5, can also be aged. I would like to remind you that to be aged, the product must be aged at least 3 years in glass bottles. So here you see the meaning. So a product that goes from tangy to sweet, and in terms of body, from light to medium to heavy. So with this profile, we want to help consumers to find what they are looking for, and we would like to help them understand differences. And so it is something that is designed to make consumers satisfied in order not to be disappointed with the products. We would like to help them buy what they were looking for. And at the same time, it's also an operation of educating consumers, because then consumers can understand more and more the differences between products, the different uses, the different price ranges, and consumers may then ask those who sell the products to have a wider assortment, accepting also a price increase and buying products that, because of their production methods and characteristics, may have a higher price. Obviously, you can go much beyond the brief presentation I've shared with you. So on our website, consorziobalsamico.it, there is a section that is called Consortium Profile, where you find these diagrams that describe in a scientific and analytical way the characteristics, the organoleptic features of the various profiles. So for those of you who want to go more in depth on the topic, and for those who would like to help us actually disseminate the culture on the product. So please do not hesitate to write your questions, obviously, because we will need to translate the questions. But I would like to underline this once again. Consumers are more aware now. Consumers are more demanding. And rightly enough, they want to have more information. They want to understand more. They want to have relations with producers and with people selling the products. So our producers need support because, as you know, changing labels, introducing new brands, new trademarks, small labels containing all the legal information is not easy. So for our producers, it's not easy to add a mark, but they are ready to do this for consumers. There is not personal, let's say, a personal benefit for those adding this trademark on the bottle on the part of producers, but we understand this is a service for consumers. So that's why we need your support as well. Our customers can understand what the role of this mark is. And you have a role, too, in stimulating change, in accompanying this process of change, this process of growth, in view of feeling more and more as a team. Obviously, it's difficult to feel as a team because we are scattered around the world and we have different professions, and very often trade relations may be challenging. But the time is ripe now to cooperate. We really need cooperation and collaboration without setting aside their business needs. So we have to improve the quality of our communication and our relations. And I use the adjective our because I would like to involve all the stakeholders. So I really hope that this meeting can help us carry out a collective work all together in the coming months and years. Having said this, I have closed my brief presentation, and I would like to give you the time to ask your questions, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. The first question is this. I will read it. The question is this. Evidently, the consortium trademark is a very valuable tool. What does the consortium do to protect it? As I said at the beginning, one of the functions of the consortium is indeed protection. And protection means protecting the product, producers and consumers. So protecting the trademark is all this together, and we do this through our surveillance service, through our auditors that are recognized as security officers in Italy and within the European Union in cooperation and collaboration with authorities in other countries. With regards to the international market, we are very active, and I would say we are really committed in the surveillance and digital surveillance of the market. And we have indeed acted to eliminate online sales and auctions of products that were not authentic. Second question is, when will the new consortium profile be available? Well, the collective trademark is already available. The companies can apply with the consortium to use the profile, and once they receive the authorization from the consortium, they can use the profile. So, when companies apply for the use, and customers can actually ask to have the addition of the consortium profile label. So it's available. It's already available. We can start using it and finding it on the market starting already from today. Another question, the consortium profile, is it available to all consumers? How does the consortium control correct use? Well, it is available for the producers who are members of the consortium, because it is important for us to make sure that the consortium tools are used by those who have committed to the rules and code of ethics that I mentioned at the beginning. So the consortium profile can be used only by producers who are members of the consortium, because, as you know, ours is a voluntary consortium, and therefore not all vinegar producers are obliged to be members of the consortium. So the PGI is for everyone, upon condition that the product is certified by the consortium. Trademark only belongs to the members of the consortium. So the consortium monitors the correct use, verifying that the certification data and analytical data of the consortium profile, as I said, thickness, dry matter, etc., correspond to the categories. So on every product, there is a specific analytical control on the part of the certification body that it actually corresponds to its category. Another question, what activities have you planned to communicate this consortium profile to consumers? Well, actually, regarding communication, we wanted to start before, but we are waiting for the mark to be on the market to talk about it to consumers. Until now, we have started taking part in exhibitions. We attended Fancy Food in New York last summer with a booth dedicated to the consortium profile. We did the same in other countries. So the consortium is actually taking part in exhibitions, sector exhibitions, with a booth dedicated to the consortium profile. Then, when we start using this on labels massively, then our massive communication to consumers will start, including on points of sales with videos, use of digital campaigns, and communication campaigns, more or less traditional. But this can be done once the consortium profile trademark is being used. The question is, are there already products on the market with this consortium profile? Yes, there are, but not many. For the moment, it's rarely used. I can't tell you on which markets, whether in Italy or abroad. implementation times, guidelines to classify the products based on the profile? Well, these are already available. Those who want to use the brand can have the guidelines where you find the brands and the conditions of use. So the official documentation is available, and partly it's available also on the consortium website. Another question. I would like to know whether the logo of the consortium profile replaces the existing classifications. Well, the current norm is that also other classifications can be used if they are consistent and not on the same side or view. That is, the criteria should be the same in order not to confuse consumers, and they should not be combined visually. So it's still possible to use another classification in addition to the consortium profile, but on another part of the label, and upon condition that the information is consistent between the two. Another question on the digital passport. Will it be mandatory or voluntary? Well, the digital passport has just started, and it is voluntary. The project is of reaching a mandatory level. So the project was designed to be mandatory, but obviously we need to give time to the companies and bottlers in particular to, let's say, comply with this new norm. So our direction is this. We would like the system to become mandatory, becoming a certification system of the container. Another question. Why the years of aging are not included on the consortium profile, with the exception of aged? Well, today, the specifications forbid to write on the label the year of aging and the numbers. So there is actually a prohibition. There have been even sentences of courts in Italy that have confirmed this prohibition. Today, on the label of balsamic vinegar of Modena, there can't be numbers, not even referring to aging. So this is the reason why we didn't include numbers on the trademark, and especially we cannot differentiate if not between the standard and the aged, more than 3 years. So this is a very simple distinction that we considered sufficient, using on the lower part of the trademark the word invecchiato or aged. Will the products be available in supermarkets in Germany? Yes, absolutely. If actually sales parties will be available to have these products on the shelves. Well, actually, retailers or sales parties can ask producers to add this label, because I think it is very useful for consumers. It's for every market, and for all the markets, the adjectives tangy, sweet, and body are translated in the various languages, whereas consortium profile will remain untranslated because it's a combination of Latin and English. Latin was the international language of 2,000 years ago, and English is the lingua franca today. So the combination consortium profile will remain unchanged. Well, another question about the deadline. Today, the digital passport, as I said, is not mandatory. In the future, it will become mandatory, and therefore there will be mandatory terms. How many producers are there in the consortium? Well, currently, the consortium has got about 50 members out of 65 producers. So these are the current figures. I don't know if there were other questions that escaped to my sight. So the taste profile is not mandatory. And is it possible to use this profile on private labels? What is the percentage of production that you expect to be classified with the consortium profile? First part of the question, yes, it can be used also on private labels. Obviously, if the producer is a consortium member. With regards to the second part of the question, we do not have forecasts. There is freedom of use. Theoretically, all the product could be branded with a consortium profile. Theoretically, because then the individual producers can make their choices. Do you expect information material for the digital passport to be sent to stakeholders? Well, we have already sent technical information, and we will certainly develop information materials. But actually, at the end of the year, we will send other very specific information. To which international exhibitions are you planning to take part for promoting the brand? Well, next year we will be in Köln. We will be in Fancy Food in the USA in June. And there are another 2 or 3 exhibitions which I can't remember by heart. I remember these 2, which are very important ones. And there we will certainly talk about the brand. We have a very intense tasting activity, and I would like to add this bit of information. So if any amongst you is interested in having a specific meeting, also remotely, to organize tastings, to see and try, we have got this kit that enables us to organize professional tastings that are very interesting. We are organizing a lot of master classes. We are cooperating with AIS Tuscany, the Sommelier Association. It would be nice to cooperate with the sommelier associations of other countries, so we are developing this part of tasting. And we are therefore developing tools for this. So you can see the kit here as a sample. Another question, when the digital passport is mandatory, will it be so for all consortium members or for all producers? Well, the consortium profile belongs to the consortium, whereas the digital passport is for everyone. There will be a difference because if you have the consortium brand, those who are not members of the consortium will have a digital passport without the consortium trademark, but they will have the same functions, and it will be mandatory. Why? Because the digital passport will become a tool for certification and control, and not a communication tool. So this is a big difference between consortium profile and digital passport. The consortium profile is a communication tool, and therefore it is voluntary, whereas the digital passport becomes a tool of certification and authenticity, besides having communication functions, and therefore it will be mandatory for all PGI producers, with the 2 possibilities, with and without the consortium trademark on the seal. Are you planning tastings for clients in points of sales internationally? Well, those who are interested in understanding better these news, we are available. obviously based on our agendas and commitments, but we are happy to organize tastings both physically and online. I think there are no more questions. There is another question, actually. Okay, congratulations. This is very clear and effective, so thank you. Thank you, I'm very happy. Thank you very much. I hoped it would be clear for you. Obviously, criticisms are always very helpful, but sometimes also congratulations help. So thank you very much for this message. Thank you. Let's see if there are other questions. Otherwise, I will draw some conclusions. Well, they are telling me that there are no more questions. Therefore, I would like to thank you again for your participation. I would like to repeat that we are available to cover these topics with personal meetings. And please consider that we are fully available for tastings and for developing communication on specific topics. And whatever may be of interest, please, you have got the consortium contact details. We have got your contact details. So for the moment, we say goodbye to each other. Looking forward to meeting again for the news for 2023. So I wish you all the best, and I would like to thank the producers supporting us and who are the consortium community. And I would like to thank you, who are those who promote and taste our products every day. Thank you very much, and goodbye.